From the Russ Center for Media in downtown Cape Girardeau, welcome to Focus on Southeast, a program on issues, events, and people impacting Southeast Missouri State University and the broader community. I'm Dan Woods with KRCU Public Radio. Coming up on today's show, Captain Dane Stausing joins us from the SEMO Police Academy, and later, Amber Cook will be here from the Costume and Scenic Design Shop at the River Campus. But first, Riley Schuld is here. She is coordinator for Fraternity and Sorority Life here at Southeast. Riley, welcome to the program.
Hi, thank you for having me.
So give us an overview of Greek life here at SEMO.
So we have 22 chapters and 3 councils. We have the College Panhellenic Council, which is what we call Panhellenic. We have IFC, which is the Inter-Fraternity Council. And then we have NPHC, which is the National Panhellenic Council, which is they're made up of the Divine Nine.
The Divine Nine.
Yes.
What are the Divine Nine?
So the Divine Nine, a lot of them were chartered at HBCU universities, and they are made up of primarily African American students, and we have 2 sororities and then 4 fraternities here on campus for them.
How many students are involved in Greek life overall? Do you have an idea of what that number might be?
So when I last counted, we had about 820.
Well, that's quite a few. So you're the coordinator of Greek life. What are some of the things that you do in your position?
So I oversee our 3 governing councils. I oversee Rho Lambda and Order of Omega, which are our honor societies for our students. Okay. And then I also help oversee Greek Week, and then all the recruitment and marketing efforts for the system.
So what's a typical day like for you?
So
Is there a typical day?
No. I usually have a bunch of emails to answer, and then I'll work on things like right now we're currently working on our 5-star program, which is how we decide our chapter of the year, and kind of going over it, seeing if we changing some things to it. And then I also just work on like marketing stuff like social media, and then like ways we can like outreach to students to get involved.
Yeah. I want to talk about this 5-star program. So that's how you pick the chapter of the year. What are some things that are involved in that?
So it's a very, I would say, rigorous packet of questions, and it's kind of like standards to help our chapters uphold themselves to be high achieving chapters. So it goes over like academics, chapter management, community engagement, harm reduction, risk management, and then membership development. And
I think you told me there was 43 questions, but it's maybe being pared down some because it's pretty intensive, the work that's required in this.
Yes. It's got shortened down, so as of now, nothing's official yet, to about less than 30 questions. So we went back and scaled it back, combined some questions.
Do you feel like the 5-star program, does it help keep the organizations on a path or on a track, I guess, to achieve success overall? If they follow these, does that really help them stay organized?
Yeah, I think it does. It helps them since it hits 5 different areas of like chapter management essentially, and it helps them like see like setting up their year for like their events, their programming, making sure they're keeping their academics in mind, or their retention rates, and then just overall like their harm reduction and making sure they're like educating their members.
Yeah, but they're not required to do it.
No, they're not.
But highly encouraged, I would imagine. Yeah. What are some misconceptions about Greek life?
One of the biggest ones I hear is like you're paying for friends, or it's just all about like partying, and it's kind of like a social scene, but it's a lot more than that.
Talk about some of the aspects, because a lot of folks may not realize all of the things that go into Greek life and that are involved in it for those that are in it. Yeah,
so there's a lot of like leadership opportunities and ways to get involved within the community and also on campus itself, whether it's like participating in IMs, Greek Week, and then just like giving back to like your national philanthropy or like local ones through like stuff like Greek Week. There's like homecoming when they do like the floats. It's a lot more, and it's also about like holding yourself and your others like up to your sorority or fraternity standards.
Talk about some of the community activities that some of the chapters do, because there's a lot of different things that they're involved in.
Yeah, so for their own philanthropies, they'll hold like philanthropy events, we call them. So it'll be like sporting tournaments, they'll do like fundraisers, do like dinners, they'll like cook food and like kind of have like a theme for it. And then like Greek Week, which is a really big one, especially for the community. Last year, they raised over $20,000 for the Special Olympics of Southeast Missouri through a polar bear plunge in front of academic. And they raised a bunch of money for nonprofits. Also, they do giant food drive, clothing drive, and then a blood drive.
So a lot of activities.
Yes.
You were involved in Greek life when you
Yes.
were here. Talk about that, because it wasn't something that you planned on initially, right?
Yeah, so I didn't know anything about Greek life, and then before the sign up to register closed, my mom somehow convinced me, who also had no idea anything about Greek life.
Because she wasn't in it when she was in school,
No,
right?
I'm the oldest child,
Yeah.
so like no one, and I just kind of was like, sure, why not? You know, showed up every day, they'd ask me a question, I'd tell them my mom forced me to do this, I didn't know, and now here I am. So it's been a journey.
So having that you have the background, you were in it when you were in school and doing this
Mm-hmm.
job now, did this really help you to do your job better now? Because you have that perspective?
Yes, I think it also helps me because I have the perspective of people who don't know about Greek life or understand it. And at least for me, I like to always be like, it's not what you think. Like, I didn't even know what to think of it. And then seeing where I am today, I also think it helps me because I can really like talk to students that are unsure, like, no, and I'm like, really? Like, I also thought that, and now here I am.
Well, yeah, so you went through that. So now if they say, I thought about doing it, but I really don't know, you can say, well, it's very relatable for you.
I always tell them, I'm like, well, I actually was forced to do this by my mom.
What are some things that people may be surprised to know about Greek life?
I think it's just like all the things they do and like what they can accomplish within themselves. It's like growing their leadership skills, gaining confidence. They learn how to like plan events, host events, like lead chapters of, I think our largest chapter is in the high 70s. So like you're leading chapters and students your own age to success.
Talk about time management, because I would suspect with all of the activities that you're required to do or should do with your Greek life and your studies, maybe you have a part-time job, time management has to be critical.
Yeah, so time management, I think that's a big thing I also learned in Greek life. You really learn like how to prioritize your time as well, like what's important, what you have to do, while also keeping in mind like, you need to keep up with your grades, keep up with your study hours, and while also balancing your coursework. You learn it pretty fast, I'd say.
You probably kind of have to.
Yeah, but they also help you learn it.
Yeah. Well, Riley, we're out of time, and we're glad you're with us today. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, Captain Dane Stausing will be here. This is Focus on Southeast, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to Focus on Southeast. The Police Academy at Southeast Missouri State University is dedicated to meeting the training needs of all law enforcement officers and agencies in the university's service area. Captain Dane Stausing is the director of the Police Academy, and he's here with me now. Captain Stausing, good to see you. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me, Dane.
So tell us about your background first.
My background in law enforcement was, I've been in it for about 30 years. Started here originally, Cape Girardeau City. Went down to Scott County Sheriff's Office, retired from there, and then I took over the criminal justice program at the Cape Career and Technology Center.
Okay.
That was a brand new program we started about 6 years ago, and then this July the opening came up. At the academy, and I applied for it, and I got the position.
So what drew you back here? What brought you wanted to come back to Southeast again?
My family's always. My mom and dad, grandparents were all from Cape Girardeau.
Oh, okay.
I came to Cape to school, got my degree here. Also, then I even went through the police academy here back in 1996. So
Wow.
that shows you a little there. But Went through the police academy, and so getting that opportunity to come back and just my knowledge and to,
Yeah.
for the new recruits. So
And now you're in charge of the police academy. That has to be kind of
yes,
cool.
it is. From where I came from,
Yeah.
at the time, Dr. Michael Brown was in charge of it, and he was one of my professors also at the
Okay.
university. So that's kind of actually how I got into the academy down here at SEMO.
Well, they say there's no place like home, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So tell us about the police academy itself.
The police academy is what's licensed under the state as a Class A police academy.
Okay.
That means that under Missouri post standards that you have to have at least 600 hours of training. Our academy now is a little over 720, a lot more than obviously the 600, but there's so
Yeah.
much out there extra that we can put in. We have
Yeah.
a certain curriculum that we have to teach, the 600 hours that the state is curriculum. And so we do that, and then we can add whatever else we want to.
And you told me POST stands for Peace Officers Standard and Training. That's what
Police
POST
officers, yeah.
that's
Police
what
officers, standards and
yeah,
training.
police
Yes,
officers.
sir.
So that's what that stands for.
Yes.
How many are in the academy? How many students?
Right now, 26. They graduate in December 11th. There's 26 of them, which is a high number. Usually it's about low 20s.
Okay.
So, but we've got 26 students right now.
And I think you told me you can grow. You can take more.
Yeah. We can take, up to about 30. Honestly,
better
if we had to, we could take more. It's just getting on when we start doing the hands-on training,
Yeah.
having multiple instructors there at that time.
So what are some of the things students learn that attend the police academy?
They learn the basics starting off, just as in the Missouri and city laws, state laws, federal law. They learn that because, of course, can't arrest anybody, can't
Yeah.
pull anybody over if you don't know
Right,
the laws.
right.
So they start with that. Then from that they get into more of the investigation of each crime out there, from like burglaries to sex crimes to drugs to assaults. They learn what you have to have. Also, there's other things from driving portion of the test, because of course you drive a lot at work
Yeah.
as a police officer.
Yeah.
Report writing, that's a big one.
bet.
We even do first responder, 40-hour first responder. We do firearms. They have to be certified in handgun and shotgun. And then we here at the SEMO Academy, we also put in patrol rifle. That's another about 24 hours that we give them. That's part of the extra hours. A lot of agencies requested that actually for us to put in the academy.
It seems like a comprehensive program, and there's a lot of things to learn.
It is. It's very tedious on the students. It's Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, and they don't get any time off. Like, you can't miss. I mean, you can miss, but the state regulates how many hours you miss, and then also,
Okay.
too, if you miss, you have to make those hours up. You can't. There's a way, and we have a certain system where they can make it up by either spending extra time with one of the instructors or anything, and they can even have to come in the evening or even on weekends sometimes to make those hours up.
To make that up. Does this all happen in pretty much in a semester?
Basically, yeah. It's about a 5.5 month academy.
Okay.
We do 2 a year. So
Okay.
one in the spring and one in the fall.
So what's the typical background of a student that come to the academy?
It varies. I've got some students right now that are 20 years old and maybe have been working at a local police agency as a jailer or as a dispatcher, trying to
Okay.
get that experience, because you can't start the academy till you're 20 or 21.
Okay.
So they try to get in with some law enforcement agency, and then they're sent. And then I've got people that have no background at all in law enforcement, and some officers or some cadets are even in their mid-40s that are doing it and just realized, I want to completely change what I'm doing. I've done this for the last 20 years, and I want something new.
Yeah. And I think you told me that there are a lot of employment opportunities for police officers right now.
Yes. Out of the 26 students we have in the class right now, 25 of them are already basically sponsored or spoken for going to another agency to work. And that's anywhere from Perryville Police Department all the way down to Pemiscot County and all the way over to like Carter County, and a lot local also with Cape Girardeau City and Cape County.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question is, do most of them stay in southeast Missouri or not necessarily?
Majority of them do.
Yeah.
A lot of people contact me to come recruit, actually, local agencies from like Sykeston or, even us here at the university. We've even got recruits in the academy right now. The university police does.
Okay, right.
But then too, actually yesterday I got a call from Baldwin Police Department up in St. Louis. They're wanting to come down and try to get some students. I've had all the way up by Kansas City, Overland. They've asked to come talk to the recruits. So we try to keep them local and all that too. Then so of course we have the best, the good recruits in Southeast Missouri. But some of them do end up going north, more, or some may even go to the highway patrol later on in their career.
Yeah. So if they get their Class A, they are a patrolman, right? And I guess, is that the first step into
Yes, sir.
law enforcement?
Yep. As you go in as a patrolman or a deputy, depending if you go to a police department or a sheriff's office.
Okay.
And then usually they're, a few years, depending on the size of the department, and then you can get promoted up to maybe a corporal or a sergeant, then on up to a lieutenant, and up to the chain of command that way.
One thing I was curious about, and we talked about this on the phone before we visited here today, is so this, if somebody's really interested in law enforcement, this could be the beginning of maybe eventually if they want to get into federal, to FBI. I mean,
Yes.
This is sort of the start to start accumulating all this training, because there's a lot
Yeah,
to
there's a
learn.
lot to it. Also under the post standards, you have to have continuing education every year as a police
Okay.
officer. You
All
have
right.
to have at least 24 hours every year, and then it's divided up into certain areas, certain curriculum. You have to get certain hours in. And then when you have that, though, there's that, and you just continue your education in it, because policing has changed so much, and like I said, I've done it for 30 years. It's changed so much,
yeah.
but we've had cadets come through that have gone on to highway patrol, federal agencies, different things like that.
So if folks are curious about the police academy here at SEMO, what's the best way to find out more information? The website, probably?
Yeah, we've got a website. We have an email. It's all on, SEMO's sites there under Police Academy, and they can contact me directly there, or we've also have a secretary that's there once in a while too. So just leave a message or anything, and we can get you an application, and you can apply.
Well, Captain Stausing, good to see you. Thanks for being here with us, and good luck for this next group of cadets and folks coming through.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, Amber Cook will be joining us. You're watching Focus on Southeast. We will be right back. Welcome back to Focus on Southeast. The Janine Larson Dobbins Conservatory of Theater and Dance is one of the top 30 musical theater programs in the country and the top theater program in Missouri. It's also one of the only schools in the United States with a commercial dance program. Marisa Cook is Coordinator of Design and Technology for the Dobbins Conservatory, and she's here with me now. Hey there.
Hi, excited to be here.
Thank you. We're glad you're here with us. So you deal with costumes and makeup and all kinds of stuff. Tell us what you do at the River Campus.
So I'm a professor of costume design and the coordinator of the Design and Technology program for the conservatory. So in addition to teaching classes that are costume and sometimes makeup and hair related,
Okay.
maybe a little bit of scenic design, I also help coordinate the academic program. That's our BFA in Design and Technology, as well as work with my colleagues in coordinating the production season.
Well, talk about your background a little bit, because you did some acting early on too, right?
I did. I, like many undergraduates a million years ago, had no idea what I wanted to do, and I took a theater class because I thought it would be easy my first year of undergrad because I had experience and I ended up making a lot of friends, and I initially chose an acting focus. And so I worked professionally after I graduated as an actor doing voiceover work and as a resident artist at a theater for a while before going back to school for design to get more education.
And I think I asked you if you missed acting, but you really like what you do now much more.
I do. I love not having to memorize things, and I love not having to audition. But I do think that that background gave me good insight into how to do my job now.
Absolutely. So talk about some of the things that folks may not know. I mean, costuming, there's a lot to it. We have a huge amount of costumes already at the university, but you guys, I mean, you said every costume is touched all the time and measured for every show. Talk about all that goes into doing all that work.
Yeah, so when we're working, whether it's myself or my colleague or one of our student designers, when we're working on a production, we collaborate with the other designers, with the director and choreographer, if there is one. From the very beginning, from the research phase, what are we trying to say about the story? So from there, we move on to sketches. We, of course, look at what do we have in stock, what do we not. And then depending on the time period, honestly, we may be building the majority of the show, or we may have it in stock, or we may be having to shop it. But the important thing to note is that even if we are just going out and buying clothes, we are fitting every single article of clothing on our performers, and we're tailoring them to fit the performers specifically. So there's a lot of kind of unseen work. You know, people think, oh, like it's contemporary clothes, it's not a big deal, but we're still hemming pants, we're taking in the waist of things. Sometimes we're adding extra material so that, for instance, a dancer can do moves in clothing that that clothing wasn't originally designed for.
And this all starts I mean, you're working really right up until the production. I mean, there's a lot of work that goes in advance before the show ever premieres in Bedell.
Yeah, there's usually about 5 or 6 weeks of a design and conversation period before rehearsals ever start. And then when rehearsals start at about 6 weeks out is also when the build of the show will start. Okay. So it's sometimes 3, 4, 5 months, or if it's something like our first show of the fall, we'll actually start having design conversations in late March. About.
So tell us about what you brought today. I don't think I can get a shot of that hopefully here.
So this is from a piece that was a guest choreographer for our winter dance concert last year, Sabrina Nas, who is Canadian by way of Trinidad. Her dance piece was about Carnival and those traditions in Trinidad, and I was very fortunate to get to be her designer for it. This piece is one of, there was a whole rainbow of colors of them. So I designed it, but the reason I brought it is because it highlights the terrific relationship we have working with our students. Josie Freund, who is a senior this year, actually took my drawings and materials that we gave her, and she built from scratch all of these for the dancers to wear. So I wanted to kind of point out that while I get a cool job of designing things, our students and my other colleagues really are responsible for helping make it work and make it happen.
Talk about the student experience for our students that are in our theater and dance program. There's so much they get to do.
Yes, and I think that the amount that they get to do here is like unparalleled to anywhere else. Like I would put money down that I don't have on it. They get more realized experience, not just classroom experience, and that is important too, but they're getting to work on more realized productions and have true experiential learning in a way that's on a more frequent basis than a lot of other programs, because we want them to be employable from the minute they graduate and walk out the door.
How competitive is the industry?
It depends on what part we're talking about.
Right.
From the performance aspect, it's competitive, right? There's a whole bunch of factors that go into that, you know. What are they looking for that day, you know? Did your voice crack when you sang? I would say right now, from the design and technology standpoint, if you are a hard worker and you're pleasant to be around and you've got some talent, the world is your oyster. Okay. We have, actually, there are job shortages. There aren't enough people to fill jobs in certain areas of our industry. Technical direction, lighting design, costume crafts, for instance, those areas that are traditionally seen as like craftsperson positions, but actually
Okay.
employ a lot of artistry, and people are looking for people with degree holders in that. It's really competitive.
So have there been, I'm just curious why there's so many openings, there been a lot of retirements, or if, is there anything to attribute that to? Just
I
curious.
think it's just that, like, most people starting out, myself included, you know, when you're young, if you're into any kind of performance, it's probably going to be on stage, right?
Okay.
Like, those backstage roles traditionally get filled by parents and volunteers
Yeah.
who are doing stuff. So a lot of young people don't necessarily realize that this is a legitimate field and an area they could be working in. And then I think that the other thing is that a lot of times careers in the arts are viewed as sort of maybe a toss-up as to whether you would be employable or not. You know, it can be scary to want to pursue that, but we're using the same science and technology. We teach our students CAD drafting.
Yeah.
You know, they learn how to weld. They're learning skills that are actually transferable to other parts of the industry too. So I think it's just, you know, it's a handful of things, really.
Got about a minute here, but before we go, what do you love most about your job?
Every day is different. Every day is different, and there's always a new challenge, and sometimes it's a good one and sometimes it's a bad one, but at the end of the day, there is never a dull moment, and I love that.
And I think you told me on the phone that you like seeing the students when something, they get it and they light up, and it just makes you feel so good.
Yeah, it's my favorite thing. Like, I love when a student makes a connection to something that, you know, maybe something that we weren't even planning on it existing,
Yeah.
right? And they connect the dots and go, oh, that's so gratifying.
You're like, yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, it's been so good to talk with you. Thanks so much for being on the show today. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
All right, Focus on Southeast is a collaboration of KRCU Public Radio and the Department of Mass Media here at Southeast Missouri State University. Just a reminder that you can find past episodes of the program at krcu.org and on KRCU's YouTube channel. From the Russ Center for Media, I'm Dan Woods. Thanks for watching. Be sure to tune in next time when we focus on Southeast.